Hi and welcome back to the Ruby Tuesday. Squid Game Season 1 was Netflix's most popular series, even over Dark and Stranger Things. It still holds that coveted top spot, so it was no surprise that every YouTuber ever, from the biggest like Mr. Beast,
no pushing, obviously.
Please, come on.
Oh, no. Two bit the bullet.
to the smallest like me, Squid Game is back. Everyone had something to say about it. It spawned merch, reality TV shows, and a plethora of TikToks. After 3 years, we are back with a second season and a third coming out soon. So today, of course, I'm diving into the second season of Netflix's juggernaut Squid Game, the show that redefined binge culture in 2021. And now is back with a shorter, punchier 7 episodes. This season packs quite a punch. So let's grab a cup of tea, sit back, and get into it. So you heard that right, it's only 7 episodes this time, which is a tighter season. But don't let the episode count fool you. While it's shorter, it's jam-packed with tension, drama, and those what would I do moral dilemmas that made the first one so unforgettable. The pacing, however, does feel a bit uneven, with side stories taking a surprising amount of screen time. More on that later though, because those threads are clearly weaving something more significant for the future. The show's razor-sharp social commentary is back, and just as biting. Season 2 delves deeper into the class divide, human desperation, and moral compromises. What's fascinating is how it doesn't just repeat the themes from Season 1. This time, it's a mirror reflecting how greed and survival can corrupt even those with the purest intentions. The games and life are a cruel cycle. Sound familiar? That's exactly what makes Squid Game so fascinating and haunting at the same time. What's exceptionally brilliant this season, though, is the focus once again on all generations. We have characters we love to hate. We have characters we love to hate from the get-go, and those that we are rooting for as we start to get to know them through the subsequent episodes. The theme of family is used as a thematic juxtaposition, often through flashbacks and reflections, which often deepen the commentary on innocent loss and the cycle of violence. The games, colorful and childlike on the surface, are revealed to be rooted in twisted adult fantasies of those who are deemed lesser than by those who have far too much. It's almost like the show asks, how much of this cruelty are we passing on to the next generation and the following one? The games themselves, we have old favorites and new nightmares. Season 2 brings back a couple of those classics that we had with sinister twists in them, while also introducing entirely new challenges that are as imaginative as they are horrifying. Without giving too much away, one game in particular, let's just call it the Reflector, is a standout. It's a brutal psychological challenge that left me staring at the screen in stunned silence, as some of those nasty things that you knew were going to happen and you were expecting to happen but you still didn't want to happen, happened. The ingenuity of these games lies not just in their mechanics, but in how they force the characters and us to confront the uncomfortable truths about ourselves. Every decision a contestant makes shows the audience who they are, by who they choose to team up with or who they don't choose to team up with. The choices we see each contestant make are so easy for us to judge from the comfort of our couches. But in the dark recesses of our minds, if you're honest with yourself, would you make those same decisions to survive or make a massive amount of money that would change your life? I think a lot of people would answer yes there. So let's talk about the characters and performances. Returning characters bring continuity, though the roster of new faces also leaves a strong impression. Jung-jae as Swang Ji-han continues to be the heart of the series. His performance is layered with the guilt of a survivor and the resolve of an unshakable desire for justice. The new players bring fresh dynamics to the group and some stand-up performances from younger actors who lend the season to a raw and unpredictable energy, which I liked a lot. That said, the side stories can feel like padding at times. There's a subplot involving an underground resistance that feels undercooked, but you can tell it's building towards something massive for a season 3. Similarly, a storyline about a character's family struggles adds emotional depth, but occasionally slows the main narrative. Still, these tangents are likely planting seeds for that explosive final season. The visuals and set design. One thing Squid Game has always nailed is its visuals, and Season 2 is no exception. The sets are dazzling, bright and colorful and surreal, yet tinged with a creeping sense of dread. It's a bizarre but effective contrast that makes the violence and despair hit even harder. The attention to detail in every game's design is phenomenal, as always. Each one is a twisted funhouse that draws you in before crushing your spirit. Every time I saw a new game or a new set, I was like, wee, oh, that's exciting. And then I saw some of my favorite characters just get killed off. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the ending and sort of do an ending explained, but there's no spoilers in this anyway, so you can keep watching. Without spoiling too much, Season 2 concludes on a note that's both shocking and inevitable. It's the perfect setup for Season 3, which, by the way, has already been filmed and is slated for sometime in 2025. The final moments of the season bring the moral dilemmas full circle, leaving us with some pretty big questions about humanity and justice. Is the system broken, or are we? And what happens when the oppressed become the oppressors? I felt the story was very much guessable, with each of the characters doing exactly what I expected them to do, but it was also inevitable in some of the worst way possible, because when the stories got to those plot beats that I knew was coming, I was hoping for something different. But maybe the Season 3 will give us something very different for its big final Season 3 epic that I'm sure is going to remove all the questions that we have. At least I hope it does, because there's only 3 seasons in this series, according to the director. So my final thoughts is this. Season 2 of Squid Game may be shorter, but it's just as impactful. The games are intense, the themes are thought-provoking, and the characters' journeys are as gripping as I think in Season 1. While the side stories sometimes feel like padding, they're clearly building toward a monumental finale in Season 3. It's a season that not only entertains, but also makes you reflect on your own values and choices. It does take its time in getting into this season though. The first 2 episodes feel like a setup. It's a long time to set up getting into something that we already know, which I don't mind, but I can see some people having issue with this, as they might feel that we already know exactly what's going to happen because we had Season 1 already, so just get back into the games. And while I agree somewhat with that train of thought, if we didn't have any character building like we do for episodes 1 and 2, then you might not enjoy the mayhem of the games. And isn't that what Squid Game does best? Make you love and hate the characters and then kill them off. I give Season 2 of Squid Game 3.5 Nicolas Cages out of 5.
You got one.
So what did you think of Season 2? Are you excited for Season 3? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, stay safe, be kind, and remember, live long and Tuesday.